Hello there, welcome back to another video. Today I have lined up for you another episode of blatantly copying Scrapman and disguising it as innocently thinking it's a fun idea, which I really need to stop doing, but for this one I just couldn't help myself. His comment section has been bullying him recently with trying to make as long of a car as humanly possible in Trailmakers and driving it around the Grand Prix racetrack on Race Island. At the very end of the second video, he briefly tests the speed circuit and observes that his car is clearly far too long to get around the corners. When I saw this, I had a brainwave manifesting in the form of two ideas. Idea 1 was, what if you just make the wheelbase shorter? My argument for this, being a fair and viable option, is that wheels aren't usually at the extremities of a car's footprint. Most notably, in my opinion, you have the classic American luxury cars that are almost long enough to be considered land yachts, except the rear wheels only reach some of the way to the actual rear of the car. So a shorter wheelbase will be the first idea I'm going to try. However, perhaps, in spirit of the challenge, some might consider that to be cheating. So as a backup idea, I have the following. Provided that the car has enough ground clearance, you could guide the wheels around the barrier instead of trying to squeeze it within the track limits. That way, the pivot points of the car, I use the term car loosely here because, well, just look at this thing, can go wherever they want, yet most of the mass stays on or over the track. So in short, the second idea is to use the whole island, not just the track. So, without any further delay, let's begin. First, we need to make a car. Perfect. This design can and will go through many different designs, all varying from each other in the tiniest amounts, evolving to its peak form of stretched limousine the longer I tinker with it. I've put the wheels on pistons so that I can shrink down in size to be able to start the race, but I don't know if I'll be able to keep it. But let's give it a quick test to see where we stand. Alright, so we're too short to be able to clear the barrier, which is rather unfortunate. We'll just add more height though. This could be done more efficiently, but it didn't occur to me at the time, so we'll just have to cry about it, I guess. We'll also add gimbals across the body to make it lighter so it doesn't sink so much, among other upgrades like switching from monster wheels to doubled up truck wheels for less wheel sink, and using stabilization based on helicopter engines for more torque, since the car weighs 3 tons. Eventually, I make it around the track and, as promised, moved the wheels to the very front and the very back and tried to go around the barriers. This time I ran into an alternate issue with weld group stability as before, but instead of the ends drooping, it was the middle, which could easily cause me to high center on obstacles, which I had to make sure wouldn't be the case. I also added suspension pieces to try and mitigate the bouncing that really plagues this vehicle for no reason. So that was quite a good investment since it seemed to work for the most part. That was stressful, for lack of a better word. Now let's see if this vehicle is even capable of traversing the Grand Prix circuit in order to be faithful to the original challenge. This corner is really doing my tree in. Alright, so this corner is blatantly impossible, but I'm curious to see if the rest of the course is possible, so let's gloss over it. The final turn was probably the hardest of them all, while still being actually possible. You definitely don't want to make the same mistake as me and try to outdo the ladies' man himself, but yeah, I've escaped Dark's clutches, so the IMS Malta will probably be done on Monday. I'm on the fence between doing that and making another fighter jet though, so we'll see which one I do first. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. See you later.